What's up everyone, Jonathan here. Today we are going to be doing a microphone comparison video, and I'm really excited about this review because if you've listened to my podcast, or maybe you have your own podcast and you're looking to upgrade the production quality, or maybe you dream about having a podcast one day and you're just doing some microphone research, I think there are so many different options out there and it can be pretty confusing. I know from personal experience. So I'm gonna try to make this as simple as possible, as user-friendly as possible. And we're gonna see between these two mics that are very similar in both specifications and also price, if there is a clear winner between these two. So I'm really excited about this. Stick around, let's roll that intro. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you've bought either of these mics, or if you've purchased both of them and tested both of them out, let me know what you think and what your feedback is. So anyway, without further ado, let's roll that intro and get to the review. All right, guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me for this microphone review. Today, we are looking at two different mics. They're very similar in price and in specifications. In my hand here, I have the Shure Super 55. Now, this is a really cool looking mic. It's from their classic series, and just the all metal body of this thing, with the exception of maybe a little piece of plastic right here, is really cool. It feels good in your hand. It is a dynamic mic. Both of these microphones are dynamic mics. We'll get into the specifications in just a little bit, but here in my other hand, I am holding the Rode Procaster. And if you have been doing any research at all, you know between Shure, Rode, certainly a number of different brands out there are kind of the dominant names in podcast mics. Both of these are fantastic. I think broadcast mics, you can also use them for live music recording. Interesting shapes, both of them are interesting, similar weight, similar height overall, but the build quality on these is just absolutely incredible. Like I said, both are dynamic mics. So we're gonna get to what that means and the puller pattern here in just a second, and we're gonna set both of them up. But first, I wanna go through what you get in the box for each one of these. All right, so to get started with the Shure Super 55, this one comes in this box right like this. Really cool looking box. Once we pull this sleeve off of this and unpack it, you get all sorts of instructions, some warranty information, and some different things right here inside the box. Once we get rid of all of this, there is a little carrying case as well. So fun little carrying case. Generally though, I don't anticipate carrying this around too much, so I don't know how much that's gonna be good for me, but in any case, it's nice to have a carrying case, right? All right, and so once we actually pull the mic itself out of the box, it does have this spring on the back, gives you a little bit of adjustment, also probably acts as a bit of a shock mount, so it reduces a little bit of the impact. Now this mic really looks like it is meant for live music recording, definitely for vocals. I mean, this is just such a cool looking mic. Hold it in your hand, and it kind of looks like something that was in the Hunger Games, right? Or something like that. I think actually the mic that was used in the Hunger Games was the Heil Thin, I think is the name of the mic. I'm not sure, I'm gonna have to go back and check that, but this mic is definitely super cool looking. This all metal housing with this blue foam on the inside gives it a really striking look. And there is another version of this, I believe, that comes in black and red. I really wanted to pick this up, although I do really like black and red, but I wanted to pick this one up because it just looked really cool, really classic, very kind of like old school mic. I am going to be mounting this onto a standard mic thread, and you can see there in the back there are two different ones. This is just the XLR port right there, and then that is the thread and the adapter that goes onto any typical mic stand. All right, so I have the Shure Super 55 on my mic stand right now. I'm gonna get this one out of the way. We're gonna take a look at the Rode Procaster. So this one is really cool. There's the Rode Procaster and the Rode Podcaster. The Rode Podcaster is a USB mic. This one is an XLR mic, so you can see the only port, or the only basically button or anything that's on this thing, is just this XLR port right here. There are no adapter ports for mounting it at all, so you will need to use a shock mount or use the adapter that they actually give you in the packaging. I don't have the box anymore for this, but it does come with another fancy carrying case here and a little bit of a threaded adapter port. You can see right there that actually just attaches right onto this end piece. Now I have the actual adapter on my arm right here. So that's what it looks like. And it is adjustable, so you can move it back and forth, but this connects right through there. And then this part screws on the back and connects up just like so. All right, so there you have it. All right, both of these mics are dynamic mics, like I mentioned in the beginning. Dynamic mics just mean that the build on the inside is a little bit different as far as, you know, your capsule and everything goes. I'm gonna actually take this piece off just to kind of show you. You can see what the capsule looks like on the inside, and that's kind of something fun to do for any of these mics. You can kind of take a look. This one, the Shure Super 55, I'm not going to be able to do that obviously, but I do like taking a look to see what the internal build looks like. And this mic, both these mics feel super, super substantial. Like I said, both dynamic mics, which I think are better used in noisier environments. This one has a cardioid polar pattern. So a polar pattern basically is just the pickup where the audio is actually going to be picked up best, where the audio is going to be rejected also. This one is a cardioid polar pattern, and then this one is a super cardioid polar pattern. The super cardioid polar pattern is a little bit tighter than the cardioid, but basically the difference is you're going to have a little bit more sound rejection on the sides for the super cardioid versus this cardioid mic, but very, very similar. The pricing is also pretty similar. This one is $230. The Shure Super 55 is $250. So really close, within $20 of each other at the time of recording. I'm curious to see though, I feel like you're gonna have to buy some extra gear, because unless you actually have the mount, the swivel arm, and you're planning on using the one that they actually give you, you're gonna need to buy an extra shock mount for this. So it looks like though both of these have pop filters built internally. This is definitely a huge plus because it reduces those plosives, those P's and S's, and kind of that harsh sound, especially when you're speaking closer, which definitely for dynamic mics you're going to want to do. So let's get both of these plugged in. To do a test on these, I am gonna be using the Zoom H5. This is a sweet little handy recorder. I am going to be plugging both of them in at the same time, and we're going to be checking out the audio when it relates to both of these. So I highly recommend this, by the way. If you're going to do a podcast at all and you're thinking about having guests or thinking about having a remote show where you take it on the road with you, and again, you're not doing it through Zoom or anything like that, this little thing is definitely worth its weight in gold. So pick up one of these. Not sponsored by Zoom or anything yet, but it would be cool. One thing I wanted to know before plugging both of these mics in for the sound test is that with the super cardioid, you're gonna get that side sound rejection, and you're gonna get basically sound pickup on both the front and a little bit of the back of the mic. The cardioid polar pattern is more of that heart shape. Now, the main difference here is this one is going to pick up a little bit more ambient noise. The cardioid polar pattern is going to pick up a little bit more ambient noise. There is about 130 degrees of pickup range around this mic and around the polar pattern. So you're going to be able to move around a little bit more than this, which is the super cardioid. Definitely there is more sound rejection on this one for ambient noise. Think kids, think lawnmowers, think whatever else is happening in the environment that you're outside. You know, if you're filming something in your home, recording something in your home, and you're in a residential neighborhood, something to think about. Or if you're in an office, again, something to think about when you don't have sound treatments or things like that. So all of these things are important to think about, and I would just recommend writing it down and then analyzing what you need out of a mic versus what the mic's actually giving you. So again, cardioid with the Procaster, super cardioid with the Shure Super 55. Just going right off of that, I feel like this one with the better sound isolation, just from the facts that they're telling us, the sound isolation might be more helpful. But the one thing about this is you oftentimes have people, especially when you have a podcast with guests on it, who like to move around. And I've definitely found, you know, if you're sitting at a desk with a bunch of people and you're talking with them, you know, you get people that'll move in, out, kind of move to the side. So if you have someone who's a little bit more of a wanderer, you're going to want to think about having a cardioid polar pattern, something that is not as focused, because this guy right here with the super cardioid polar pattern is going to really want you to just stay up on the actual mic itself. So anyway, let's get these guys plugged in and see what they do. All right, so first we are going to do a test of the Shure Super 55, and this is the audio at about halfway. I have it about halfway turned up. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit more. Now, you can hear my voice when I'm right here up on the mic. Here I am grabbing it. There's not that much sound pickup from the back and the sides, but it is definitely right in here. This mic is not giving you that much feedback, and I can definitely tell that it has a pop filter on the inside. So that's really cool part about this mic itself. I have both mics plugged in right now just to separate tracks, and I'm going to switch the tracks over in just a minute. But really, I mean, this is a fantastic mic. Yeah, you're going to want to be closer up on this mic though. I can definitely hear that. So if you have someone who likes to wander around and they want to kind of sit off the mic like this a little bit or rotate around the mic, you might want to have a mic that has a cardioid polar pattern just to be able to pick them up a little bit more. But overall, this mic is pretty sweet, and definitely on camera, it looks cool. So if that's something you're going for and you kind of want that wow factor as well, this is a pretty neat mic. I would recommend possibly getting an additional pop filter. You could attach something like this if you wanted. Again, especially if you're having guests or something like that and you aren't going to be the one using it the whole time, things like this really could be useful. But I find that it needs to be turned up a little bit more. Half just really wasn't doing it. So turn the audio up on this just a little bit, but overall really clear, and this is pretty impressive. One thing I did want to note about this mic is I am at home right now in a room with no audio treatment or anything like that. My kids are home. They are in the other room. If I take my headphones off and I open the door, I can definitely hear them a little bit, but I'm not picking any of that up with the actual mic itself. Now, as far as live recordings, vocals, any sort of music or anything like that, I really can't speak to that because that would be a different application. And so if you're looking for a review on that, definitely check out another video. But as far as just for straight podcasting, even in a room that doesn't have audio treatment, I think this is a pretty good solution. Definitely maybe a little bit pricey for what you're getting, especially with some of the other options out there. But this is overall a really cool looking mic, great build, good sound, a lot of clarity. So overall with this mic, I think it's important to note I am just talking about it for podcast use, and I am in a room right now in my home. My 4 kids are here. They're making noise. I can definitely hear them a little bit in the background, but through the headphones, I really can't. So I'm definitely sensing that there is a pretty good amount of background rejection. But if you're thinking about using this for vocals or any live stage performances or anything like that, which I think this microphone just being that it looks so cool would lend itself to, you might want to go with a different mic. Now, again, with the wandering, if you're working with someone or interviewing someone who's going back and forth, this may not be the best mic for that. But if it's your personal mic, if it's just you recording the podcast and you're doing reviews or things like that, this could really be a fantastic option. It is a little bit pricey at $250, but again, if you have the money to spend, you're looking for a really cool mic, I think this is a great option. Let's go ahead and switch over to the Procaster and see what it has to offer. All right, so here is an audio demonstration of the Rode Procaster. Procaster. That's kind of fun. Those P's and S's, right? You're definitely going to want, I think, a pop filter also for this, although I think I know that there is a pop filter built into here. I've just attached it to a boom arm with the attached or the hardware that they've provided. I think it might be useful to actually get a shock mount as well. But this, I just connected it right as it was out of the box. Getting a little bit of the audio though, and this again is that cardioid polar pattern. As you hear my voice kind of going around the mic, you can tell definitely where the sweet spot of the audio is. But with that said, I think, if I'm back, forth, I have this turned up to about the same level that I had the Shure Super 55 turned up to. I might like the sound, the audio on this a little better. Hello. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. You could set this up like this, but I believe you can also go like this And so either setup would be good. If you're setting it up like this, you can absolutely do that. And I might recommend this for anyone, especially if you're doing it with multiple, if you're setting up a podcast with multiple people, you're definitely going to want to make sure that the mic itself is out of your face. That's going to help, especially if you're recording it and getting video of this as well. So important to think kind of where you mount it. But overall, I like this. I can definitely tell that you have a little bit more range in the vocal pickup pattern, the puller pattern. I can definitely tell, obviously there is kind of a sweet spot right in front of the mic. This is my voice with my mouth maybe 3 inches or so away. Here I am about 1 foot away. Here I am about 6 inches away. So you have a lot of range as far as where you're going to pick up a good amount of audio. Yeah, this is great. And this one was the mic that was around $20 cheaper. So that's something to think about too if you're on a budget and you want to not totally break the bank. Something to consider there for sure. But I think you will have to buy a shock mount to go on a boom arm or whatever else. So, all right, guys. So I wanted to do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison of these mics. This is the Shure Super 55, and my mouth is about 6 inches away from the actual mic itself. I do have the Rode Procaster on as well. So give me 1 minute. We're going to switch over. And now this is my voice using the Rode Procaster. You're going to hear I'm at the same audio level, and my mouth is again about 6 inches away from the actual mic itself. But there's a little bit of a side-by-side. Very, very similar mics. Again, really the only big difference is this mic over here is about $20 more expensive. This one's $20 cheaper, right? And this one has that cardioid puller pattern versus this one that has a super cardioid puller pattern. So again, slight differences there. Shure and Rode. If I would have to go with one, I think if I want to save some money and still have a high quality, really fantastic mic with a really good build, I think this mic is going to win for me. I like the bass. I like how the audio sounds. I like the flexibility of being able to move around a little bit as I go over here or go over here. That wider puller pattern is definitely going to be helpful to me because I like moving. I like gesturing with my hands and things like that. So, in a toss-up between these two, the Rode Procaster is going to take it simply off of price and just the very, very, very similar specifications and features to this mic over here. Sure, this mic is way cool, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Rode for this one. So good job, Rode. You guys killed it on this one. If you all are out there and you've used either one of these mics, I would absolutely love to hear your feedback and kind of get a feeling of the mic that you would choose between these two. So definitely leave me some comments below, criticism, whatever you want. Super excited about doing these types of reviews on this channel, and especially because I have a podcast and I set up podcasts as well. So I hope you guys are all doing amazing. Smash that like button if you did like this, or the dislike button if you didn't, and subscribe. That'd be pretty cool. Alerts always on, and we'll see you guys in the next video.